Hi, I'm James Farber. We're here at Power Station Studio A, back in the string/piano room, recording a kit for a Toontrack session today. I'm going to talk about the microphones on the drums. In a jazz recording situation, I'm always thinking about the overheads first, and none of these other mics by themselves are the sound of any of this without these three overhead mics. The two left, right, and I refer to them as cymbal mics. These are Shep's CMC5s with an MK4 cardioid capsule. I love the way they naturally capture the cymbals, plus the rest of the kit. I do have a center overhead mic too, which I keep in Omni. If I'm panning the overheads, the cymbal mics, hard left and right, and I put this up in the middle to taste, that helps bring it together a little bit. It also gets a very generalized picture of the kit. In the other room, I was using a KM86, but in here, I knew I was going to use this U47 as a mono representation of some of the kits we're going to record later in the main room. And I thought, oh, this would be nice to try that, some kind of tubey vibe on the close area of the kit. Normally, I use one mic on the bass drum, but I thought, we have time, the luxury of experimenting a little bit, which I don't normally have on a jazz session. I'd been using this TLM 170 on the bass drum for a while and liking it, but I decided to add a second mic for this project, and it's a Shure Beta 52, which is a little bit of a not jazzy mic because it's pre-EQ'd, kind of scooped out, got a lot of bottom and a lot of top. And I just thought, well, maybe that would give me a little extra punch and excitement on the bass drum in conjunction with the naturalness of the TLM 170. And it really worked to do that. And some of the kits, I just dial in a little bit. Others, I have it even with the TLM. And I think I will continue to double mic the bass drum from now on. The snare drum, I don't always mic top and bottom, but again, on the Toontrack session, we had tracks, we had time, so I'm micing the bottom of the snare too, which is just the basic Shure 57 with the phase flipped. On the top is a microphone that I was introduced to a few years back. It's a biodynamic called the 201, but I've really been happy since I started using them. They handle a lot of level, and they just have the right character for me on the snare. 57s line up on the snare when that's the best mic choice in a studio for me, but this one is my go-to snare mic these days. Hi-hat, I'm choosing an M160 ribbon mic. I picked that because it's a little dark. The directionality of that mic keeps as much snare out of there as possible. And even if I don't EQ anything on the entire kit, when I'm recording, I will put a low filter on this. Because the ride cymbals are often low, and maybe the most important thing of the kit, I will add another microphone for the ride cymbal. And again, I've chosen an M160 because of its directionality. I usually go pretty close to the cymbal just so it can be dialed into whatever level you want without changing the imaging of the three main mics too much. That leaves the toms, which are all the same here. They're 414s. You know, when I was taught in the old days, I was always using 421s, and the cymbal leakage in the 421s just was so ugly to me that I had to find a solution, and I switched to, years and years ago, 414s and hypercardioid, which does two things. One, if you solo all the toms when the cymbals are playing, there's not a lot of cymbal leakage in the toms. And two, the added proximity effect from the hypercard setting, and I will never go back, unless it's an extreme emergency, to cardioid again. For the room mics, which I tend not to use a lot of in jazz, often we're in rooms much smaller than this and we don't want to hear the room. It's not a pleasant thing. In Power Station, we have the luxury of these beautiful rooms to hear and add depth to the kit. For this project, knowing that the room would come into play more, I've chosen to go with a Decatree style room miking. And I did not put a Decatree in this room, and the reason is I originally thought that these glass doors would be closed and we'd be just hearing this room. We ended up liking the sound of it with this kit with these doors open. If I wanted to bring the Decatree in here, it's a monster, and I would have to be too far forward to fit in the doors. So what this is a simulation of two omnis flanked by a closer omni in a triangle. But what I have for the close mic, or the front mic of the Decatree, is a Sony C37A, an old tube microphone and omni. These mics are B&K 4006s, which are omnis, and the imaging is so great. For me, even though a lot of classical guys will use spaced omnis, I always find some kind of hole in the middle, and the Decatree center mic solves that and just gives a beautiful picture of left-right. I hope you liked what we've done with this project, all these different amazing kits we've recorded. I hope they're useful to you in some way. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy these recordings.